College Game Day presented by Dr. Pepper. We've made it to the final week of the season. It's Conference Championship week, and we're in ATL, Georgia, where it just means more. The SEC finale. Georgia and Alabama, who matched up earlier this season, advantage Bama. A lot is on the line this time around. We'll talk about that and everything else right here. Look at all the people here.
I see a lot of dogs behind us.
For a little matchup. I do. I also saw a Miami fan in the crowd earlier.
How excited is everyone for the SEC championship game? I think we have a lot of Georgia Bulldog fans in the building. I think we also have a lot of Alabama Crimson Tide fans in the building.
Oh, okay. They're a little louder, aren't they?
Well, let me say this. Now, Georgia.
That was beautiful.
Y'all better not let Alabama fans be louder than y'all. Y'all are at home.
Yeah, that's our house.
Okay?
All right, I didn't introduce us. Christine Williamson, Lyles Jr, and Harry Douglas in the building. We're going to talk a little bit more about this matchup right now. As we start every show with something that we call three big things. I'm going to start with number one. As I mentioned, we've got a familiar matchup in the SEC Championship. Alabama and Georgia meet for the conference title for the third time in the last 5 years. The Crimson Tide are 4-0 against Georgia all time in the SEC Championship, while Kirby Smart is just 1-7 against Bama in his Georgia head coaching career. Can the Tide continue their dominance over the Bulldogs? We will find out today.
Christine, number two, you go to the Big Ten, that championship game. Number one, Ohio State versus number two, Indiana. Now, 32-game winless streak for Indiana. Can they snap that today in the Big Ten championship game? I would view it as an upset if they're able to defeat Ohio State. I like the high-powered offense of Indiana versus that vaunted defense of Ohio State. Let's see who the best team is, and let's see who's going to win that one.
It's definitely going to be a physical matchup, HD. And the third thing, this playoff bubble. Christine's Miami Hurricanes, are they going to make the playoff? We got to see what's going to happen in the ACC championship, obviously, with Duke going against Virginia. We'll talk about that game later. And also, obviously, with the Big 12, is BYU going to be able to avenge their loss to Texas Tech? See what happens there. All these things are going to hinge on Christine's happiness. It is going to be determined by
really
those two football games.
It really is. Going into Sunday, we'll see exactly what happens. Let's talk about this matchup a little bit more, though. As I mentioned, it's a rematch from earlier in the season. Bama got the best of Georgia. Kirby Smart is 1-7 against this team. So how do you think they need to bounce back in this matchup? What do they need to do?
Passing game's got to be a bigger threat. Gunnar Stockton's got to be on his game. Obviously, this Georgia team, they've been running the football pretty well the last month. You need to see that continue. Jam Miller, we're not going to see him in this game. Drew Bobo, though, very curious about that injury. That's a big deal for this Georgia team. Anytime you're losing your center, obviously, I think when you look at a team like Georgia, next man up is probably one of the few teams that actually applies to, and you don't have to worry about that. But anytime you lose your center, I think it's a big loss. But I think Gunnar Stockton needs to be the better quarterback in this football game today.
I would say also, when you look at the University of Georgia, in that first matchup, they had opportunities, right? Nate Frazier, he had a big fumble.
Yep.
That led him to getting benched, and then other guys playing at the running back position. Taylor, the freshman wide receiver, he dropped a wide open touchdown. And then you think about that 4th and 1 late in that ball game, and they did not convert. Offensive linemen missed their block. Alabama won by 3 points. So with all that I just mentioned, Georgia still had an opportunity to win that ball game. When the opportunities present themselves, you have to cash in. You have to make those plays.
Okay, so obviously Alabama won the first time around, but they've kind of struggled offensively in the last month. What have you seen from them on tape, HD?
Well, number one, when you look at the game versus Auburn and then Oklahoma, 7 sacks that Ty Simpson has taken, right? So the protection hasn't been there in those two major ball games, but also guys taking turns messing up here and there. It's different from defense. You can have two or three guys mess up on defense and the play still becomes successful. Offense doesn't work like that. Everyone must have moved in unison. You look at the game last week versus Auburn. You know, you had a wide open touchdown to a receiver. They missed that one. You had drops by receivers as well. You have missed blocks on certain plays. So I think coming into this SEC championship game, you want to hit on all cylinders like you were the last time that you played the University of Georgia, but then also have that belief that it's going to happen. Now, I love Ty Simpson when it comes to defeating the blitz and orchestrating things at the line of scrimmage. I think that's one of his strengths, and that's another thing that pro scouts actually view as a positive for him as you go ahead to the 2026 NFL draft?
Without question. Obviously, they had some uncharacteristic mistakes last week against Auburn. Anytime you play at Jordan-Hare at night, weird things are going to happen. I think you saw a lot of those with Alabama. I think they're going to be much sharper today against Georgia.
I I want to talk a little bit more about this offense. Gunnar Stockton, Ty Simpson, they're going head-to-head. Obviously, there are two quarterbacks that have been in the Heisman conversation. Who do you expect to have a better game today?
Ooh. I'm going to go with Gunnar Stockton, and here's why. But in saying that, I also want to know who else outside of Zachariah Branch is going to step up receiver-wise or tight end-wise for Gunnar Stockton. He's done a phenomenal job this season of taking care of the football. I remember sitting on the sidelines against at the Ole Miss game, and they were trying to take a shot down the field. Gunnar Stockton didn't like what he seen. He threw it to his check down, and it was a positive play. They were 2nd and 2. That's what I like for him as a quarterback. He's done a great job orchestrating things for this offense this year, but also not putting the football in harm's way. But I want to know who else is going to help him out at the wide receiver position outside of Zachariah Branch. And can one of these tight ends, Lawson Lucky, he's a guy who has 4 touchdown passes right now. Can he continue to be a red zone threat, especially in the SEC championship game?
I think I really feel like Gunnar Stockton, this is his moment to sort of step up and make right from that last game. I'm still going with Ty Simpson, though. I understand Jan Miller's not playing in this football game, but when we talk about these weapons on the outside and that offensive line, and just looking at what he's been able to do and the improvement that he has shown over the course of the season, he has typically course-corrected. So I think you're going to see a better player from last week coming into tonight's game.
Let me say this, though, because I do believe in this matchup the second time around. I don't feel like Alabama can be so one-dimensional. Right? And that's been the entire year for them, and they've gotten away with it. You have to find some type of run game. And if you can't, I think that's going to lean towards the Georgia Bulldogs and their defense and Glenn Schumann to put something together to make sure that that offense and that pass game doesn't do what it did the first time around.
Certainly not winning a national championship without a run game.
Right, and this matchup obviously has huge CFP implications, as I mentioned at the top of the show. Whether or not Alabama will even be in the CFP, if they lose this one, that's TBD. But who do you have in this matchup here, Lyles?
I'm taking Alabama. I'm sorry, but I'm taking Alabama. I'm taking Alabama.
You're taking Alabama?
I am taking Alabama.
You live in the state of Georgia?
I do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I live on the south side of Georgia.
Georgia?
And if you think I'm picking against the Dogs, you are sadly mistaken. Give me a Go Dogs! Say Go Dogs!
Roll Tide!
I'm going with the Bulldogs today.
Who you going with, Christine? You got to break the tie.
Okay, I am breaking the tie. And usually, it's not this hard, because usually I'm just always picking the underdog. But I'm not from Georgia. I don't live in Atlanta, as I like to say. So I'm going Roll Tide.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, Kirby Smart just doesn't know how to beat this football team. He's 1-7. The one time they did win, it didn't matter. This game obviously matters a lot today as well, but I think Alabama's got it. Any other thoughts on this matchup?
I think it's going to be a damn good game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fun.
Well, let me just say this. Let me go back to 2024, because a lot of people thought Texas was going to beat the Georgia Bulldogs as well. Only for the Dogs to win an SEC championship game, folks.
Congratulations.
So I think we're going to see a repeat of what we've seen last year in the SEC championship game.
All right, we'll talk a little bit more about CFP implications with all the conference matchups happening today. But let's talk about, we're going to talk about it right now, actually. Let's talk about the other matchups, because we have a triple-header conference championship slate on ABC. First up is BYU taking on Texas Tech. In a rematch where the Cougars will try to get a playoff bid, then we'll have this Alabama-Georgia matchup at 4 Eastern, followed by the ACC championship with Duke playing Virginia. Indiana also plays Ohio State as the top 2 teams in the country battle for the Big Ten. So let's start there. A battle of the top 2 undefeated teams. It pits one of the nation's top offenses in Indiana against Ohio State's top defense. HG, how does Indiana try to find something going against a brick wall at Ohio State?
Number one, it starts with their offensive coordinator, Mike Shanahan. He's going against Matt Patricia, a guy who played or coached at the NFL level for a very, very long time, won Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. You know, Matt Patricia has been phenomenal for Ohio State.
Yeah.
But the players that Mike Shanahan has at his disposal, when you look at Fernando Mendoza and the way he's taking care of the football and orchestrated things, passing it from the pocket, that run game, they're balanced offensively, but I think it's going to come down to those 2 wide receivers. 100%. It's going to be Elijah Surratt, who we've seen versus, Oregon have a phenomenal game. Omar Cooper Jr., who caught the game-winning touchdown versus Penn State, versus a cover 0 type coverage. So, can you stay ahead of schedule? You can't get behind in the chains. You want to live in 3rd and 2 to 5. If you're 3rd and 9+, that's when Ohio State is going to thrive, because, they have 3 guys or 4 guys on their defense that are going to be the first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
So you better make sure you have a good down and distance on third down when you get there and don't live in third and longs.
Yeah, because you're going to have to keep up with this Ohio State offense. They've been running the football a heck of a lot better. Julian Saint's completing almost 80% of his passes. So this is going to be an offense that is going to make you fight back. I think the key for Indiana, this is going to have to look similar to that Oregon game. They matched their physicality, out-physicaled them really, and they won the turnover battle. If they could do those 2 things, they give themselves a shot in this football game. I think it's going to be really competitive no matter what. I really think that people, in ways, have slept on this Indiana team because they've looked at them and said, all right, well, when's the loss going to come?
Yeah.
And here we are at the Big Ten Championship. We saw how they played against Oregon. I think you're going to see a similar performance today against Ohio State in terms of physicality.
Whoever's the most physical team will come out and win this Big Ten Championship game as well. And both teams have shown that they can be physical at the point of attack within their offensive line and their defensive line. So may the best team win.
I do want to talk about Indiana. On the flip side, they allow the 2nd fewest points per game in the country. What is the key to Ohio State's success?
Just do what they do. I mean, you have the most talented team in the country. They don't really make mistakes. They don't shoot themselves in the foot. They play really sound football. I mean, when we even just talk about Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, Julian Saint's completing 80% of his passes. I think I have an idea as to why that might be, right? And then that's not even talking about all the talent that they have defensively. Ohio State is genuinely the one team in the country where you have to kind of have them beat themselves a little bit too if you are actually going to defeat them. I don't know that they're going to do that today, but it's going to be interesting. Like I said, Indiana is going to make this a very, very tough football game for them.
Like one of the biggest matchups is going to be Ohio State and their wide receivers versus the secondary of Indiana. You have guys on both sides who are going to be playing on Sundays at some point in the National Football League. But listen, man, Julian's saying he's been playing point guard all year. Don't change anything up now because you're going against the number 2 team in the country and you're playing in the Big Ten championship game. You have Jeremiah Smith. I really thought that ball game changed last week versus Michigan on 4th down when Jeremiah Smith ran that slant and go, a.k.a. sluggo, and Julian saying put the football exactly where it needed to be. And he was rattled a little bit early on through the early interception, but after that, he really settled into that ball game and been the quarterback that we've seen on film all season long.
All right, who do you have in this matchup? Harry Douglas only because Lyles can't choose.
O-H-I-O. I'm going with the Buckeyes.
I feel like there's no Ohio State fans here, unfortunately.
Well, I wasn't expecting them to finish it up.
I don't know.
This is the SEC championship game.
Miami fans out here. I don't know what's going on. I also have Ohio State in this one. It was hard for me to choose because I do want Indiana, I think, to win this game. However, I feel like Ohio State is going to run the table. I do want to talk a little bit more about, we talked about with the game happening here today in the SEC championship, Gunnar Stockton and Ty Simpson and how that can impact the Heisman conversation. But when you think about the quarterbacks as a whole, both in the Big Ten and the SEC, where do you think the Heisman race is at this point?
I think right now it's in the Big Ten. And it's because where both of those teams sit. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Indiana. I think the Heisman moment for Fernando Mendoza came versus Penn State when they were down late. Even though Penn State is not a good football team right now, they were down late, and he made throws on that drive. And versus a cover 0 blitz, which is everyone is blitzing. They're blitzing the house. He found one of his favorite targets, Omar Cooper Jr., to seal the victory. When you look at Julian saying, everyone wanted to see him play versus Michigan in the game. He came up big. Early on, he was rattled, like I just mentioned a few seconds ago. But when he settled into that ball game, he was the quarterback that we've seen all season long. So I think the Heisman winner will come out of the Big Ten championship game. I think votes have to be in by December 8th. So this is a big matchup for those two guys.
I mean, to me, this is the moment. I mean, you look at the Heisman odds, those 2 guys are down there. Diego Pavia sandwiched in between them. I just don't think that's going to happen. It's rare that we get candidates like this playing in a game of this magnitude. As long as one of them comes out and really dominates this football game, I think that ultimately decides who the winner is going to be. Because we typically, again, don't see the stakes, and we have guys that are clearly the stat leaders per quarterback. So I think it's going to be decided today. So
what hurts Diego Pavia is that he's not playing on championship weekend. He's going to be at home watching both of these quarterbacks play. But I would say for Mendoza and also Sayin, they're going against vantage defenses. Right? So if you can show everyone that, hey, I can be the same guy I've been all season long versus these defenses, then I think that's going to be the winner.
Hey, man, Diego Pavia and Vandy, they tried to get Miami out there to play a little football game.
A little exhibition.
No, I did hear that.
Yes. He was on the show. He was like, hey, Miami, Utah, whoever, if you guys want to play us, let's go. Because he wanted to have that Heisman moment. But unfortunately, like you said, they're not playing championship week. So he doesn't get that look. All right, let's go to the Big 12 conference. BYU takes on Texas Tech in a rematch from a game a month ago when Texas Tech absolutely dominated in that matchup. It was BYU's worst offensive game of the season. How do they get back in this one and try to get revenge in this
Number
matchup?
one, you can't turn the football over. They had 3 turnovers in that ball game when they got throttled by Texas Tech. Texas Tech's defense, we know, is elite. And it really showed in that first matchup that they played early in the season. Also, you have to find a way to run the football. That's what Bear Bachmeier, that's what L.J. Martin.
Yep.
They got held to under 70 yards rushing in that matchup. You know how insane that is, a team that is balanced offensively to be held to under 70 yards? So I would say you have to find a way to run the football, but Bear Bachmeier, can you make plays on the outside?
Yeah.
And it's difficult because when you're dealing with a guy in David Bailey coming off the edge and Romello Height coming off the other edge and then a nose tackle who's going to be playing on Sundays as well. Oh, by the way, you got Jacob Rodriguez as a linebacker, and then you have players in the secondary for Texas Tech. It's difficult, so you have to play mistake-free football. If you can't play that way, then your chances of winning the Big 12 championship game are 0 to none.
Yeah, I just like – I was sitting at home trying to figure out, like, all right, like, what is the road, like an election? Like, what's the roadmap for BYU to get all the votes they need? Hey, man, it ain't enough votes for you out there, brother. Like, it's just, I just do not think it's going to happen for them. This Texas Tech team is so talented, really on both sides of the ball, but that defense, man, like, I thought it was interesting, like, they were clearly trying to get some Heisman hype for Jacob Rodriguez, and he's not even the best player on their defense, man. Like, it's David Bailey, and that dude is a bad you-know-what. And he's leading the country in sacks with 12.5. Jacob Rodriguez is leading with enforced fumbles with 7. Like it's not even just that this is like a well-oiled machine and they play together. Like, there are just so many individual monsters on this defense. And I understand Bear Bachmeier's freshman, but dang, man, like, it is an uphill battle the entire way for you.
So, Harry, I did get up yesterday with Louis Riddick, and he had just watched the film of Texas Tech, a lot of it. And, man, we were talking in the green room about their defense, and he said, man, they have dudes on top of dudes.
Yeah.
And when you have that type, shout out to NIL, because they've been able to, through the transfer portal and NIL, be able to get these dogs, literally. Tommy Dog, Mighty Dog, Underdog, Super Dog, whatever dog you want to call it. They've been able to get at Texas Tech. That's why they've been balling on defense, and that's why they're one of the better defensive teams in the country.
Yeah.
Okay, so knowing everything that you guys just laid out, I feel like I know where this is going to go, but who do you guys have in this matchup?
Texas Tech.
Red Raiders.
Throw them tortillas, baby.
I'm not even really trying to be funny about it, but Texas Tech really is that damn talented.
Yes.
Like, you guys need to understand this. Like, this team might not win a national championship, but holy mama, that defense is something, like, just insane.
Yeah.
Just the absolute talent.
I love the connection between Barron Morton and Caleb Douglas. That's my cousin, not really, but he has the last name, so I'm going to say it. Shout out to a Douglas out there making plays at the wide receiver
Y'all got
position.
some family down the line, I'm sure. Okay, let's go to the ACC because that's where the drama lies. Obviously, Duke taking on Virginia. And I feel like a lot of people are looking at the ACC, whether or not they're going to get into the CFP at all. If Duke wins, it's going to be chaos. So let's talk about it. What has been the most impressive? Let's talk about Virginia, first of all, because Virginia has obviously been very impressive this season. A lot of people haven't been talking about them, but they have. Tony Elliott has done amazing things with this Virginia team. What has been the most impressive thing that you've seen?
I think it's just the culture that he's brought and how they did it without a lot of noise. Like, this was not a team that people thought was going to be very good this year, but since he's been the head coach, they've had incremental improvements. And that's sort of something that obviously I think people aren't very comfortable with when they hire a head coach. They want to see results immediately, right? And that's never going to be this man's squeeze, because we are talking about somebody that was an assistant under Dabo Swinney for so many years. And you know how Dabo operates, Christine. He builds a culture. He's going to build it his way. And you've seen Tony Elliott do a similar thing with this Virginia team, with that culture, including some things, obviously tragedies that they have gone through. So just nothing but great things to say about the job that he's been able to do, and especially taking advantage of an ACC that is sort of up in the air in terms of there's not a real like a stakes holder, like a dominant team right now. So to be able to do this with this team, I think it's an incredible job.
So I was able to talk to Tony Elliott Thursday on my radio show, Freddie and Harry, and man, number one, he's one of the better coaches in college football. And when you talk about a Clemson and how they've struggled offensively since he's left, he's one of the main reasons why. Because he's that damn good from a offensive standpoint, drawing up things, from a schematic scheme and putting players in positions to have success. But I asked him, man, you know, how do you get players to get rid of self and pretty much buy into the team? And he said it starts with us coaches.
Yeah.
We got to be selfless as coaches. That way it trickles down to everyone else amongst this team. But I would say, man, being able to win close games this season, Florida State in overtime, Louisville in overtime, the game versus Washington State, the game versus North Carolina, that just doesn't happen unless it's built in the offseason.
That's right.
Training camp. And then amongst the season, unless you love each other, all amongst that team. So I love what Tony Elliott has built at Virginia. And I think the ACC, they need Virginia to win this ball game.
Oh, yeah, they do.
So they can make sure that they have a team that represents that conference in the college football playoffs.
Okay, so what do you think happens if Duke wins the ACC championship?
So if Duke, well, it kind of depends, because we also got to see what happens with BYU.
Exactly.
Like, even though there's only like 2 results that we're really waiting on, like that still matters a ton. And then also, it's not even just about win, loss. It's like, no, did you get run over?
Yeah.
Or did you lose on the last play? Or like, did you lose by 7 and 10 points? Like, I think there's so many variables within that, but I think if Duke wins, and depending on how they win, I don't know that they're completely out of it. I don't buy that. Like, to me, JMU struggled a little bit last night with Troy, Troy was 8-4 coming into that football game. I think it would still be a long shot, but like their strength of schedule is just one of the worst among teams that are being considered. I mean, it is the worst for teams that are being considered for the playoff. I would like to see Miami get in. I hate, and I am going to I will say this for the remainder of time. I don't care how many teams you put in this damn playoff. If the whole point of a playoff, guys, is so you get team against team. And you know how we determine a champion? One team wins that damn football game. Among teams that we are thinking about putting into the college football playoff, one team, we did it on the field. We saw it. We have a result. We know head-to-head. Miami's better than Notre Dame. At least they were on that Saturday. That has to matter.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
I will say this, though. If Duke wins the ACC championship game, it does open up the door for 2 G5 teams. James Madison, and then you look at Tulane winning last night. My thing is, if I have a Miami and a Notre Dame sitting there, I don't know if I'm putting a James Madison in over one of those teams. I don't think that can happen, in my opinion.
Especially because the committee has said that the eye test is what has made them put Notre Dame in the position that they are in. And if you're using the eye test, Miami is better than those 2 teams.
The results have to matter, bro. The whole point of a playoff was to get it on the field and get the result. And we literally have a result.
I agree with you.
I do love the drama, though. Just do what you got to do. Okay, who do you have in this matchup?
I'm picking Duke for the chaos, not because I actually think that they're going to win.
How dare you? I'm going with Tony Elliott and the Virginia Cavaliers. Give me Virginia.
And I'm going to go Duke because I need you guys to win so that my Miami Hurricanes can get in. All right. It is V Week at ESPN when we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. This is game-changing research that helps save lives. If you're able, give now at v.org/donate. 100% of donations go to cancer research. Let's talk a bit more about what's at stake today. We'll start with bubble teams. If it feels like there's 2 vulnerable spots, it is number 9 and 10 currently occupied by Alabama and Notre Dame as we welcome in.
He can't keep getting away with it.
Andrew Spencer.
What's up? I'm back.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's been like a minute since you've hung out with us.
Yeah, I tried to give you guys a little space. I kept popping up every once in a while, but I hope you missed me.
We did.
We always do. Modern Forrest Gump, bro. He be showing up anywhere.
Also, he was busy finding love. That's what he was doing.
I was. That's true. That's very true.
So he had to go do that. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. I want to ask you this: if Alabama and BYU both lose today, does that open up? You will. Does that open up a playoff spot for Miami?
Yeah, well, of course. I feel like Miami's the next team in. With 3 losses for Alabama, I just feel like it would just make sense for Miami to go in. The thing is, for me, is Notre Dame being ranked above Miami. I think that's still a question mark to me. So I hope that they get in. And obviously, I heard what you're saying about the ACC. ACC needs representation for sure.
Anything you want to add?
No, I mean, you know how I feel about it. I just went on a rant about, the games need to matter.
Okay.
I think, again, I would like to see it happen for you, Christine, but also Miami, because, again, I feel like, and we're not doing deserving, right? We're doing best teams, but, again, I feel like it does open the door.
All right, go Canes, go Canes, go Canes. It's great to be a Miami Hurricane. That's all I have to say. We love coaching hires. It's time for Fans Bill Advantage now, presented by Dr. Pepper. We've had a lot of coaching hires. Speaking of drama going on, obviously in the CFP and also in coaching in general. Obviously, the biggest one was Lane Kiffin going down to LSU. It was very dramatic. A lot of chaos happening there. We also know that there was Florida, Auburn, Kentucky, Virginia Tech, and Michigan State, all among those who have hired new coaches. Which fan base do you think should be most excited about their new head coach? Spencer.
Oh, Virginia Tech for sure. In my opinion, James Franklin, even the ACC, we go back to talk about it again, they need the brand exposure. They need to get bigger teams, better teams, and James Franklin's going to do a great job of getting guys in there for recruiting. Inner Sandman's going to be a different level.
Oh, yeah.
I've never even been there, so I'm hoping to get there for the first time ever while he's coaching and running out that tunnel. You know how he runs. So.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that because here's the thing, too, with Virginia Tech. This has been a program that really has not been itself for at least a decade.
Yeah.
I know they've had a couple of, bowl wins in there, yada, yada, but, there is a standard there at Virginia Tech that has not been met really since Frank Beamer left. And we've seen what James Franklin could do building a program, whether that was at Vanderbilt, which, he's one of the best coaches in that program's history. And then obviously bringing Penn State back to their prominence, even though obviously things fell apart this year. He's still a damn good football coach. He's the exact type of guy that if you are Virginia Tech and you want to get back to being who you're supposed to be, he's the guy.
Absolutely.
I'm going with South Florida and Brian Hartline. I love that South Florida went out and got a guy that has produced first round after first round after first round talent at the wide receiver position. Not only have those guys went in the first round, but they've been very productive as soon as they've gotten to the National Football League. I understand Penn State got their coach at Matt Campbell.
Right.
But it blew my mind that Penn State did not try to go get a guy like Brian Hartline, who's throttled them time and time again as a coach, was a phenomenal player in the Big Ten as well, and then he played in the National Football League.
Yep.
But I like South Florida in the position that they're sitting in, and a lot of those kids that don't go to Miami, Florida, and Florida State, guess where they're going to go now?
Yeah.
They're going to be going to South Florida with Brian Hartline because of what he's been able to do, having receivers and guys go to the National Football League and have success.
Okay, let's talk specifically about the SEC. Which new head coach do you think will have the most success moving forward?
I still Lane Kiffin for sure. LSU is just a pipeline for good athletes.
Yeah.
Obviously, you see them all over the NFL. And I just think that, the media and everyone's going to rally around them. You get that momentum going. It's gonna boost your team up as much as you want. So I'm going to go with LSU and Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I think that's obviously a great answer. I mean, LSU, anybody should be able to win at that job, but, it doesn't happen for everybody.
Family.
I'm going to go with John Summerall, though, at Florida. John, when he was the coach at Troy, we used to have a lot of Sun Belt games on our Thursday night package. I'm not making this up. Had multiple coaches say, we have got to get this guy out of our league because he is that damn good. And you saw what he did at Troy. He's won 3 conference championships out of 4 years that he's been a head coach. Obviously, they just won last night with Tulane, but he's the exact type of guy that Florida's going to need in order to bring that program back. But I also think when you look at what Alex Golesh is going to bring to Auburn and the financial promises it seems that he's getting, and then what Ryan Silverfield, he sort of had to deal with the same thing at Memphis and getting the FedEx guys to help them out with their NIL. He was able to do that. He's going to have to try to get some of that Walmart money out there at Arkansas, get that off that basketball program. And I think he will also do a really good job as well. But if I had to pick one, that's not Lane, I'd pick John Summerall.
Yeah, I'm going with Lane Kiffin and LSU. He doesn't even have to leave the state of Louisiana if he doesn't want to.
That's true.
Like you talk about players on top of players that have come out of that state and made their imprint on that university from a football standpoint. Like recruiting is going to be easy as well.
Yeah.
We know Lane when it comes to the transfer portal and the job that he was able to do at Ole Miss. I think it's going to be ×2 when he goes to LSU, or he might not need the transfer portal like he did at Ole Miss because of the recruiting standpoint. So I'm gonna go with Lane Kiffin. I understand a lot of people might not like him right now, but I do believe Lane Kiffin is a bright offensive mind, and he's a guy that's going to be able to get the job done. But the pressure's going to be on. Got to find a quarterback.
Yeah.
You have to win now.
Yeah,
there's no waiting.
It's a win now,
Yeah, and that's why he went to LSU, because he definitely feels like that program obviously has more to offer than Ole Miss. All right, time now for Get More Game Day presented by Geico as we welcome in the one, the only Jessica Sims. Hey,
what's going
look at
on?
this squad. We're
just going down the line.
Oh my gosh, and you guys are matching, so this is like a good little...
right?
Wait, we actually...
Wait, oh my God.
This was not planned.
We look like Thanksgiving up here.
We do.
What am I? The stuffing?
You really are.
I
You're
feel
the
like you
turkey.
gotta be the turkey.
This is the turkey.
Or is it the sweet potato?
With the yams. With the yams, honey.
Because I'm sweet. Anyways, as you know, we're here at the SEC Championship, and right behind remind us there's a lot of competitions that happen. Go head-to-head. Jess Sims and Harry Lyles Jr., they did go head-to-head. Take a look at this.
We are at the SEC Fan Fest in the Georgia World Congress, and I got to tell you, this is my home turf. I grew up going to these things, Jess, so we're going to do a little competition. I feel good about my odds here. What do you think?
This is going to be embarrassing for you in front of your hometown, but it's okay.
I fear that it might, but we'll find out.
Throwing up bricks. Oh my God, throwing up bricks. Oh my God.
That wasn't even close.
So bad.
Next.
I'm about to tie this up.
I hope so.
Me too.
Here's Sims, right up the middle. Touchdown!
So now we're tied
I told
up.
you I was going to tie it up on that one.
Back it goes. Back. A home run.
Here we go.
Off to a great start. 3.
Okay.
4.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't even see that one over there. Damn.
I don't know if I'm beating
Honestly,
that.
I was too far ahead. I didn't even see those two
Yeah,
over there.
I don't think I'm beating that. I'm too far back.
You're not low enough.
I am not low enough.
Well, Harry, after that beautiful display of athleticism,
By you.
now the Jessie C, it means more.
Wow. But hey, you know what the good news is? Because it was a good loss, I'm probably still going to get in the dance. Isn't that right?
Yeah, sure. That's what that means.
That was incredibly embarrassing for one Harry Lyles Jr. Oh
Hey,
my
you did it with
goodness.
style.
The reaction challenge was sad.
So let me explain myself on the reaction
Oh, here we
challenge.
go. Here we go.
I am going to explain myself. So look, when you're in that semicircle, Jess had the right idea, get low, but she was also closer. That first one that dropped in front of me, I said, oh man, that's too far back. So I tried to step up, and then I was in front of the ones that were like on the side.
But y'all, let it be
And then
known,
I just gave
he
up.
went after me. So he saw the technique, and then I explained it to everyone else in the line.
But it's not always smart to copy off another student's paper. So I was just like, I'm going to try it my way.
Well, in that case,
Which, is typical of men, is it not? It's
The
very
line
typical of
average
men.
was 1 or 2, and I got 5. So you should have at least stolen something from me.
Bro, we have to work on your reaction time.
Yeah,
I know. Hey, that's why we were talking about it before. I'm all gym muscles, man. I stopped doing the ladder.
We're going to practice. I'm going to throw some balls at you.
I also would like everybody to know, as we're watching this, because we hadn't seen this before, Lyles just starts explaining why he lost at Papa Shop
Yes.
before we even saw it. He's like, I was trying to do, so do you want to explain that as well?
It's not going to help my case. It's not going to help my case. I'm just going to take my L.
But also, let me praise you, Jess, because you did a phenomenal
Period.
job.
Thank
Papa Shot
Thank you so
and the
much.
reaction.
She didn't kill it.
I appreciate that.
Athlete.
That was
She's an
really fun,
athlete.
though. To be honest, I wanted to do the reaction thing again because that was really, really
It
good.
looks like a lot of fun. I
Yes.
feel like I
It's
would want to do that as
Yeah.
well.
And if you want to be like
Yes.
Jess, you should take some of her classes. Clearly, I need to.
See, look at that promo. Wow. It helps, though, clearly, as you can see.
I've
But wait,
never seen anything more
I know.
embarrassing.
The reaction was definitely embarrassing, but I think
bad.
we breezed over the wiffle ball situation. Can you talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, first, hey, she stepped up. Babe Ruth called her shot, dead center. Me, I was hitting line drives into the dirt.
I was
We didn't
catching
see any
foul
of that.
balls behind the first
Yeah,
pitch.
and here's
first
the thing,
he walked out, he goes, I'm going to catch your pop fly in the outfield. And I was like, okay.
Do his voice again.
Yeah, let's hear it one more time.
Sure, pop fly in the outfield.
That's exactly how it sounded.
Well, yeah, I wanted to rob it in the wall. That's what I said.
And I didn't give him the ability to do that.
And she did not get it, yeah.
That's insane. That is actually insane. Good job. I mean, you tried. You get a high five for trying.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm always down for a rematch, though. So when we're in Miami, maybe there's going to be something.
The story is you should take Jess's classes, and Harry probably does too many pull-ups.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Show
this is the
muscles.
last regular season game show. It's so sad. As we hug. And thank you for joining us. Andrew's face is
The best for last.
Oh, let's get game picks from you for this matchup, SEC Championship.
For Alabama, Georgia,
Yeah.
I want to go Alabama.
Okay.
Smart man.
I feel like Georgia's had too many close games with teams that were not worthy.
Yeah.
So I think Alabama pulls it out.
You're with me and Lyles. It's Team because he's a homer. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and watching Countdown to College Game Day presented by Dr. Pepper. Guess what, guys? Next stop, for us at least, CFP. We'll see you guys then. Enjoy